The article I chose to read this week for my tech article reflection is Movies in School, Using Them Meaningfully by Melissa Cruz. This article really went over the topic of how we can implement movies into curriculum without them seeming almost meaningless or unuseful. She begins this topic by giving us the stereotype that most of us think of. You think of a movie, you think of a teacher who's tired, lazy, not wanting to teach. They're just showing the movie to keep the students occupied. But she really delves in deeper in how we can use these movies to supplement the curriculum and make it more beneficial for the students. One of the ways she says to do this is through scaffolding. So she explains that we can use movies to help supplement parts of rigorous text, especially texts that have students put into a different cultural context, whether it be Shakespearean time or a different country. By having a movie, it allows students to see these different visuals and how the culture comes together, which gets them more engaged and can help them achieve a greater understanding. It also can be used for students who don't quite understand the content of the text as well, because they get to see these elements coming together, which is a lot easier for a lot of students who are more visual learners than linguistic learners. The next way she goes into is enhancing analytical thinking. She gives ideas about analyzing the themes of short films, which is a lot more engaging and fun for students than simply analyzing the theme of a text. She also even has teachers considering the idea of doing a huge project on finding these different elements from a film instead of a novel, or even just a film first, then a novel. Just simply because it's engaging and it's more fun for students than just the traditional novel. She then goes into the idea of life skills. The fact that students need to be able to understand a different cultural perspective, which is a big deal with ELA teachers right now. We need to be teaching the students to see more than just a mirror. They need to see a window. They need to be able to see through a different lens than just their own. And that's really hard for a lot of students, to see and sympathize with a character that's nothing like them. So when you have movies, they're able to see what the character's going through. They're able to get an empathetic start with the character, which can help develop these skills that are so important, especially when they go into adulthood. The final way that she suggests using movies is a pre-reading activity. She says by just having them watch snippets of a movie that they're going to be reading a book of, or even a movie that connects to a book, you can get them super excited and engaged. You can also give them a basis of knowledge to add on to with the text, instead of just making this text this super scary, intimidating thing. She ends her article explaining that there are two pieces of advice she would give teachers. The first and foremost being that they need to know their school's policy. What type of movies can you use? Is there a certain rating they need to have? Can you show snippets or the full movie? It's super important that you know this from the beginning so you're not caught off guard. The second being that you make sure you don't become the teacher who's just using movies because they have nothing else to do. You should always be using them beneficially, like any other tool in the classroom. In all, I really do think I could see myself using movies in the classroom. I think they can be a super fun and super beneficial tool for students and can be more than just a reward. They offer a lot of different insights and a different way of learning to help mix up the day. They also can give students a lot more than we can give them with just text, and it comes from an area that they can connect to.